But you want me to look at the camera?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're ready.
All right. My name is Chris Sevier, and on December 30th, 2005, my son Miles Sevier was born. And when he was born with a lot of surprises for us. He was born with Treacher-Collins syndrome, which has lots of different issues, but one of which is he was born with bilateral microtia, which means his outer ears are very little. They're really basically absent except for a little bit of cartilage, and he has hearing aids that he wears on an implantable screw in his skull, and it's been quite an adventure. When you have a special needs child, everything is a little bit more complicated. Even breathing and eating was more complicated for us. He had a trach and a G button. I will admit there was times I was jealous of my friends with typical kids who could just stop at the grocery store and grab some baby food, and I had to go to a pharmacy for all kinds of things. But we figured it out, and we developed a new normal, and until he got into kindergarten, and we learned that he needed glasses, and we thought, how are we going to do this? We don't have ears to hold up glasses, and the hearing aids that are on the implantable screws, the glasses with headbands, like sports glasses, interfered with the location of his hearing aids, so we couldn't do that. And I was at work one day kind of venting about, like, I'm not sure how we're going to handle this situation, and one of my coworkers said, I know a guy, and that's how we met James. And I feel like God brought us James. I always cry when I talk about Miles. Because we met James, and he was wonderful, and he looked at our situation and was very kind and thought, you know what, I think I can do this. And so he worked really hard on it. And, he would update me with where he was at in the process, and then we went in, and it was like an answer to a prayer, because when you have a typical child and they need glasses, you can go to Walmart, you can go to LensCrafters, you can go to any number of places and get your child what they need. When you have a special needs child, you can't do the typical things. Everything is more complicated, and you feel like you're constantly reinventing the wheel. But James swooped in and helped us, and it was this great experience. And through the I don't know if you want to call it miracle of social network, but with social media, we belong to several Facebook pages for Microtia, for Treacher-Collins, for Baja and Ponto, which are the bone conduction hearing aids, and we've come in contact with other families, and quite often families post on there, hey, my kid needs glasses, I don't know how we're going to do this, and I've been able to tell them about James, and which is wonderful. And now I've noticed, it's been I think 5 or 6 years since we first started this journey. Now I've noticed that I am quite often the 4th or 5th person that brings up spoke eyes, and that makes me feel really good to see how this process has turned from feeling like we were reinventing the wheel to families can just log on to Facebook and get an answer to a question and have easily accessible eye care for their kiddo that's not typical. I don't know what else.
That'll work. We call that a wrap.
I didn't know how much you guys needed. I always cry. I tried not